So the recent phenomenon has been fake news, and the main platform it seems to have been spreading on, and I've seen this myself, is Facebook. And you'll often, I don't know if you guys are ever in like political discussion groups or something like that, or you're with friends or whatever, and you'll see people posting information from these really shady sites, and it'll be like these random ass sites you've never heard of. I don't know, like usdailynews.info or some random shit like that. And it'll be some outrageous headline like Sarah Palin banned from Twitter because Black Lives Matter or some shit like that. I've seen something very similar to that. So, with fake news being the very new phenomena, and I would say it's somewhat accurate that there has been a big spread of fake news, but it's going to invoke something very interesting, and we're going to kind of get into that here. So we have some quotes here from the New York Times because Facebook itself is actually now trying to take it upon itself to actually stop the spread of this fake news. So we got a quote. Facebook said on Thursday that it had begun a series of experiments to limit misinformation on its site. The tests including making it easier for its 1.8 billion members to report fake news and creating partnerships with outside fact-checking organizations to help it indicate when articles are false. The company is also changing some advertising practices to stop purveyors of fake news from profiting from it. This time, Facebook is making it easier to flag content that may be fake. Users can report a post they dislike in their feed, but when Facebook asks for a reason, the site presents them with a list of limited or vague options, including the cryptic quote, "I don't think it should be on Facebook." In Facebook's new experiment, users will have a choice to flag the post as fake news and have the option to message the friend who originally shared the piece to tell him or the article is false. So, basically, this is very interesting because what I think is being misunderstood here is that this is not really the way to solve the problem of fake news, and I think that this seems to be a bit of a misconception. This type of idea of, oh, it should be easy to report fake news, this can be stretched out so easily and so quickly. I have no idea. Imagine a Trump presidency. How many under his administration, if this were to go through, how many anti-Trump pieces that are legitimate or factual would go down simply because he's the president, and hey, this is fake news because we claim it and nobody can do anything about it. Also, I think that these fact-checking sites, I feel that they won't be able to manage everything, and the amount of spread would be way too high, and they would end up just taking shit down. So imagine, like I said, anti-Trump articles going down just like this, like that. Anything anti-Trump cabinet, anti-government, whatever they do, all that type of stuff. Imagine that stuff going down. Oh, hey, because this is fake news, this isn't true, so we're gonna take it down. And also, if it becomes automated like a machine, people won't actually be able to voice their opinion, and often a lot of that will be censored. And we should have free speech everywhere. Now, I think the real solution to this is actually more information. Now, what I mean by that is we've always had this setting of, before the internet is the mainstream media, right? We got CNN, MSNBC, Fox. They do a terrible job of actually giving the real news and the real way it's going on, right? And all the actual facts. So I feel that a lack of actual quality news and enough news sources of quality has led to the spread of fake news because people realize of the vulnerability of the people and how easily they believe this bullshit now. I mean, there's outrageous titles, like I said earlier. There was something that said Sarah Palin banned from Twitter because Black Lives Matter, something similar to that. And it's just, we need more information. We need more credible news sources. We don't need censorship. It's not going to help. What we need is the spread of, hey, when you see these websites, automatically deem it bullshit. And I try to do that. Whenever I see a source that I've never heard of before, I feel is shady, I go and I look and I see, hey, I found a website that lists all these sources, and I see, hey, this is an outrageous title with zero evidence behind it. It's clearly bullshit. So we need more information in the flow instead of having censorship to take down people say, because again, it can be misconstrued so quickly that, hey, under a Trump administration, under a George Bush administration, we saw that a lot. Things get taken down because, hey, it's not true, this is it's not true, it has no factual basis, it's fake news, but really it's just going against them, and obviously no one can put them in check because they're the highest in power. So, last quote here, We really value giving people a voice, but we also believe we need to take responsibility for the spread of fake news on our platform, said Adam Mosseri, a Facebook vice president who is in charge of his newsfeed, the company's method of distributing information to his global audience. All right, so again, to wrap it up, I think that this is not a good way to do it. It's going to deeply undermine the legitimate people who are posting things that are, like I said, anti whatever, and it'll be factually correct, but because it's anti the establishment or the president or whatever, it will get taken down because those powers are much larger than the person posting it. And I think that we need more news sources that will influence news correctly so that people understand, hey, this is wrong, this is right, these sources are credible, these sources are not. This is not a way to go about fake news, and I think that we're going in a very, very scary direction.